It's over. March Madness is done. We have a national champion in Division I college basketball, and it is Michigan. The University of Michigan defeats the University of Connecticut by a score of 69-63, and they are your national champion in college basketball. Their first title in 37 years. And my name is Matt Brown. I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast, and this is an instant reaction to Michigan winning the national championship over UConn. And before we do that, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X at ProdCobblePod, TikTok at Productive Conversations, and TikTok at ProdCobblePod, and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And check us out on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. So also just programming note available to you also is a tweet cap. What happened over the weekend? Me, Ryan, and Allison and Jose talk about that, from the Artemis orbiting the moon, the Iran and USA tensions rising, but the search and rescue mission being a success after getting shot down by Iran. The two airmen in that, and they were safe. They are safe. Kylie Kelsey, dating questions of the day, all that being discussed. And that will be available now on this feed as well. Then we're back on Friday to discuss what has happened in the week ahead. So looking forward to that. But focusing now on Michigan and UConn. This game that took a while to cook, that was a powerhouse defensively by Michigan, where they were getting so many boards, so many blocks, and UConn was just having a hard time making shots. They couldn't hit the three. They got like a third of their points on free throws themselves. It was an ugly game, definitely the worst championship game in the Hurley era, and it makes sense why Michigan won. Obviously, they were the better team coming into it. They were a 6.5 point favorite to start, and they win they win just by 6, depending where you were at. So it makes sense. Michigan was the better team. Michigan was a team that people were really excited for. I was excited for. And who would have thought that UConn would be in this position? But they put up a fight somewhat, got it down to 4 within the final minute, but then they ran away with it. And UConn's sloppy play caught up to them throughout this championship game. But looking at the big picture, Michigan wins their first title in 37 years. The Big Ten wins their first title in 26 years, since 2000, Michigan State. And it was all Michigan in this. While UConn was horrible from the free throw line, Michigan was dominant throughout it. They went at one point hitting 20 straight free throws. They went 25 for 28 ultimately from the free throw line. And Michigan had a hard time shooting threes themselves, but Elliot Cadeau finally hit one, and that took care of things in the end. And even though Michigan was a much bigger team, they got the big Spaniard and everything, they did lose the board battle with UConn. However, I feel Michigan made the rebounds, they made their biggest impact on the floor, making boards, especially offensively on the offensive rebounds. And UConn again made it late. You thought even for a second, wow, these dudes can pull this off. They might actually make a big comeback again. We might have another amazing moment. But no, UConn unfortunately falls short. And this team that was consistent and had all transfers, well, makes sense why they're the champions now. But it was a back and forth fight for a little bit. 33-29 at the half for Michigan. And again, once the offenses started going, it was a little more interesting from there. But once the second half took place, Michigan ran away with this game, and it makes sense where they are at. And I feel you felt that UConn had and they had momentum going to it. They couldn't have any more momentum, especially destroying Illinois like they did when they were the underdog. But yeah, Michigan just fell. Just this was just all Michigan's game, and when UConn's big players they didn't make plays, especially Karaban trying to win his third championship as a player, but he fell short, especially from the three. And Ball didn't have the best game. You had players foul out for UConn. It was ultimately disappointing for my home state. Now, I'm not a UConn fan, as I've said. I almost went to UConn like a lot of people from this state, but I went to UHart instead. And I don't have that emotional connection with the UConn Huskies as others do. I definitely was when I was a kid. I really liked them. The Ben Gordon and Mecca Okafor '04 teams has a special place in my heart. Kemba Walker in high school, Jeremy Lamb in high school, Shabazz Napier in high school. Those were when I was really hyped about UConn. But when I went to UHart, things just changed, and now I look at college sports on a bigger picture. But give credit to Dustin May and the program he built with Michigan. And Michigan always seen as, are they a blue blood? Are they a power school or not? They always seem to be there. But a 37-year drought was a long time, and this came to an end, and they're only going to get better. They're going to get a lot of support from boosters. I'm sure that now, even with a team with mostly transfers, that they can start building a culture again, and who knows where this program is going to lead. And as for UConn, they're really close from having an actual dynasty in college basketball. It's not easy, especially in the NIL era. Who knows where they'll be next year and how different the team will look. I don't think a lot of these players are going to go pro per se. They're really great college players, but not pro players. But it was fun. It was interesting. And even though Michigan, it was pretty much all Michigan most of this game, with UConn putting up a fight at various points. This may not go down as one of the all-time greats or anything special, but it did cap off what really was a great March Madness with classic games, classic moments, and now UConn and Michigan. I think you would take these two teams that are close to being blue bloods, battling out for a championship with great traditions. I think it made sense. I wish the game was a little more competitive for the entire two halves, but we are where we are now, and we will now focus. We'll continue with basketball, focus on the NBA as we've been doing, and maybe get ready for it. Not maybe, we will get ready for a draft that will come in the coming months. But okay, that's what I have for our instant reaction: Michigan and UConn, and we'll catch you back here on the Productive Conversations podcast feed on Friday, and we'll see what's trending in the week ahead. All the love, everybody. My name is Matt Brown. I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And guess what? I will be seeing you on Friday. All the love. Peace.